Hi guys, welcome to Magnify.com. I am Akash and he is Gautam. Thanks Akash, can you tell me why we are here today? Sure, we are here to help you guys to learn JavaScript implementation. If you are looking to learn JavaScript basics, there are a lot of great resources available to follow like WC Schools and others. Okay, let's not waste any more time, let's get started.
I am using bracket.io for this tutorial. You can use whatever editor you want. So let's get started. I create a folder for our project called tutorial. And let's create our index.html. Then I will just create our folder structure. We are creating just basic HTML syntax, so we are using HTML and head, and within head we are using script to import our application script. And the source of the script is JS and app.js, and that's all we need to start our application. So let's write some code. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to create a greeting class so you can understand how it's work in JS. So first thing, we need to declare a class. So in JavaScript you can declare a class as a function. That's a primitive type of the class in JavaScript. So I will say var, and then I say okay, greeting equal to function, and that also be the constructor for our class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a constructor. So best practice to use a JSON as a constructor. I will tell you later in the next tutorial why we should use JSON, but I will just use a JSON here to show you. And whatever you declare pass a parameter as a constructor is going to be a private for the class. So config is going to be a private variable for this class. And let's declare some public variable. And we are also going to declare some private variable and a static variable. So for public variable I'm going to declare a name. So I will say this dot name, and this is a way how you can declare a public variable for any class in JavaScript. So you have to access the instance of the object, and the name of the property of the variable. So I'm saying this dot name equal to, and I'm going to take it from the constructor. So I will say config dot name. So we need to pass a name as our JSON object in the constructor. Then we need to declare a private variable. So how you can declare a private variable is just use a var key. So I will say var, and the name of the private variable is going to be a message. So the best practice to use underscore to define your private variable. So message equal to, I will say hello, but rather I will access from the constructor itself. So I will say config dot message, and we have a public and private variable. Now we need something to actually access these variables. So I will declare a public method called this dot greet, and it's going to be equal to function because it's our method, and this will not take any parameter. And what we're going to do is we're going to show some message in the console. So we will use console.log, and within that we need to pass a string which I want to show in the console. So maybe I just create a private method also just to understand. So I say var and create message equal to function, and within that function, so whatever you declare as a private method, it won't be able to access the public variables. So what we need to do is we need to pass this variable within the private method. So I'm going to do this dot name, not here, sorry, my mistake. I'm going to do as a name, and I'm going to do as a message for this function, and this one is going to just return a message, so it will say message plus and then name. That's all. Now we need to use this message in our public function, so we will say underscore create message, and then we have to pass those public variables. So we will say this dot name and this dot message. Now it's not this dot message, so message is just private variable, so we can just use that here, and that's exactly we need to declare our application. And I will just run this application in a browser, and then we go to console and we say okay, so let's declare a variable called x equal to greetings, and then we are going to pass name as the constructor, and the name will be Akash, and the message is going to be hello, and that's all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write another variable, another instance of this class, and I will say y, and that is going to be Gotham, and the message is going to be Yahoo. Wow, whatever you want, you can give it just for the demo purpose. And that's all. So we created two instances of this class, x and y. So what I will do, I'm going to just show you what is x and what is y. Okay, so it's nothing. Why? Because when we clear the instance, we didn't define the new key, because it's a class. It won't return anything unless until you have a new key here. So I say y equal to new greeting and x is equal to new greeting. Now if you try to access x and y, you will be able to access those instance of the class. It says a greetings type, and you can see only the public variable, so name is there but message is not there, and the public method, that is greet, but not the create message. The same for greetings for y. So you can see it has a public expose but private within that. You can't find the private even in the prototype, so that's actually good for us and it's secured. The second thing what we are going to do is we are going to try to access the greet method and see what's happening. So if I go to x.greet, and you can see it returns hello Akash. If you do y.greet, it returns wow Gotham. So yeah, we have a multiple instance of the same class with a different variable, property parameter pass as a constructor, and it's working perfectly as a class. So that's how you declare a class in JavaScript. But I'm going to show you the static variable also. So let's just create a counter. So if you declare any variable without any this or var, it will be a static variable. So I will say counter equal to 0, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this counter whenever the greet is called. So we will do console.log, and what we're going to do is we're going to say counter. So we will show the counter, and let's pass the name of this counter. And what we're going to do before that is we are going to increment the counter is plus, and that's all. So I will refresh the application and I will just run those command again. So x is a new variable and y is a new instance. Then we will see x, and we will see y, and you can see the static variable is also not accessible directly, so it's also good. So what we are going to do is we are going to just use the x.greet, and it will show you hello Akash and counter equal to 1. So we call xGreet and it's gives the counter to 1 for x instance. Now we try to access with the y.greet, and you can see it's increased to 2, so that means it's trying to access the same static variable for both the instance of the class. So again you can play with that, 3, 4, so that's how you declare a static variable within the JavaScript class. So we learn class declaration, constructor, public variables, private variables, and static variables. And that's all for today's lesson. We will join you in the next tutorial. Thank you.